See Eyewitness News at 11.
Good evening. Thank you for joining us. I'm Tom George. In just over 1 week, people across the state of Georgia will decide who is going to face Democrat Michelle Nunn in the race to replace Senator Saxby Chambliss. Yesterday, David Perdue was in Kathleen as part of his 10-day campaign tour, but today he and Jack Kingston participated in a debate on Georgia Public Broadcasting from the Atlanta Press Club. For more than 20 years, the GPB and the Atlanta Press Club have hosted political debates during election years in Georgia. There were 3 rounds in the debate tonight. One round included a question from the panelist. Right off the bat, the topic of immigration and how it relates to Georgia was asked. Representative Jack Kingston fielded that question.
This is a policy that is a self-imposed disaster by President Obama. It is pure chaos. We need to have common sense on the border, and that's why I have fought amnesty and for border security while I've been a member of Congress.
A chance to respond to that question, but his first question dealt with his plans to tackle the national debt, whether or not a tax increase would be included, and what items would be off limits. He says this is the key issue for the race.
We really have to get this economy going. There are 3 very simple things that we can do. First, as I think we have to have tax reform. I am now a fighter for the fair tax because it will level the playing field for our manufacturers with factories around the world. The second thing is we have to get these regulators pulled back. And the third is we have to finally have an energy policy after all these years.
In round 2, each candidate was able to ask his opponent one question, and the opponent was given time to respond. Perdue asked first, going after $80,000 in contributions to Kingston's campaign by a man Perdue characterized as a Palestinian felon who the government is trying to deport. Kingston says the man is not a contributor to his campaign. When they found out there were questions about him, they voluntarily returned all of the money. He says the real question is who's donating to the Perdue campaign.
You know, there's a super PAC on your behalf, a super PAC on my behalf. My super PAC, and which isn't mine and nor more than yours is yours, but they disclose who the donors are. We have no idea who is supporting your super PAC and trying to influence this election outcome.
He responded by saying Jack Kingston's lawyer admits Kingston's knowledge of the felon and said Kingston is open for business if you want to buy favor or influence. Kingston took time to ask about Perdue's trucking company and how it possibly benefited from Perdue's appointment to the Georgia Port Authority. Kingston says Perdue never signed an agreement identifying a possible conflict of interest, but his company made millions of dollars by doing business with the port.
There's absolutely nothing to this. But now that you bring the port up, I'd like to remind people that you've been trying for 17 years to deepen this port 5 feet. That's what we've been doing for 17 years, while China's built one entire port in the last 3 years. This is an economic engine down there. In the real world, you would have been fired with that kind of performance, and now here you are wanting a promotion.
Early voting for the July runoffs ends this Friday. Election Day is next Tuesday, July 22nd.